This program contains true stories of rescues. All of the 911 calls you will hear are real. Whenever possible, the actual people involved have helped us reconstruct the events as they happened.
Bill Heasley owned a small bait and tackle shop on the outskirts of Fresno, California. 6 days a week, he ran the register and waited on customers himself until the night of January 17th, 1989.
It appears that Bill was closing up. He was removing guns from the display counter and putting them in a gun case, which in turn he takes to the safe and locks them up in the safe. We located witnesses that observed 3 individuals pulling up in the pickup. At least 2 individuals we know went into the store, and obviously they were not going to leave a witness behind.
You did.
A call came into dispatcher Diane Vargas at 4:58 p.m.
911, what is the emergency?
I've been shot. This is Bill's Bait and Tackle. My name's Bill Heasley. I'm at 40.
Okay, sir, I know where you are, sir. Now, you've been shot by a robber or what?
Multiple times.
Now, Bill, where are you hit?
In the lower, in the stomach, and in the legs, quickly.
I typed it into a computer-aided dispatch system, automatically getting officers on the way as my coworker punched into emergency medical teams, and they started to respond.
The fire department was immediately dispatched. EMT Steve Braun and paramedic Laurie Stevens were already in the field.
We heard the call come down. It was just to the east of us, less than a mile away. And I knew the next nearest ambulance was some distance away. And we immediately responded.
Okay, now, sir, we're going to get an ambulance and paramedics out there. We are sending them as I'm talking to you. I need to know if you know of the suspects.
No, they were masked. Hurry.
Okay, how many of them were there?
I don't know, 2, I think.
Okay, now we're going to get officers there right away.
An unknown white male adult came to a residence, asked her to call.
Sergeant Jeff Johnson happened to be nearby when the call was dispatched.
I could hear that the units that were supposedly responding were just too far away. They're on the opposite side of the metropolitan area. I knew I was only less than 1.5 miles, 2 miles from there. And so I told her I would go, and I picked up some speed.
Now, I'm going to sit on the phone with you. You don't have to talk if you don't feel like it, okay? We'll try to take it real easy, okay?
I'm not going to make it.
Yes, you are, sir. You are going to make
I've been
it.
shot about 6 times.
Okay.
One badly. I think my kidney's bleeding.
This is the FSO. I've got a man who's been shot.
EMS dispatcher Dan Lynch took over Bill's call.
What is your name?
Bill Heasley.
Okay, Bill. Where is your gunshot wound at?
In the stomach.
In the stomach?
Lower right side, about 5 or 6 times in the legs.
Okay, are you laying?
You could hear the pain, you can hear the fright in his voice of what just occurred to this man.
Are just want you to rest. Try to slow your breathing down. I'll stay on the phone with you, all right?
You have to hurry.
Okay, we're on our way. Are you laying down?
Yes.
Okay, flat on your back.
No, on the side.
I want you to lay flat on your back.
Oh.
It'll help with the blood, okay? Put your legs up in the air. Put something under your legs.
The left leg can hardly move. That's what a shot.
Okay, put something under your legs.
I can't.
Okay, we're on our way, so...
It's harder for me to believe on my back.
Okay, then you get comfortable on your side.
And as the call gradually progressed, you could hear his breathing grow more rapid and deeper, which is a sign of shock. This guy was on his way out.
The paramedics were the first to arrive, but they are not allowed to enter violent crime scenes without police protection.
I can't do Bill any good if I'm shot. I can't do him any good if I'm dead. We just pulled back across the street. If we had to get out of there quickly, we could.
They could only wait, helplessly, until police arrived.
I'm starting to feel cold.
Okay. Slow your breathing down a little bit.
I can't. Listen.
Yes.
I don't know if I'm going to make it.
Yes, you will.
Okay, all right.
Go ahead.
In case.
All right.
Tell my wife that I love her. Tell my boys I love them too.
All right.
And that'll be good.
It was very disheartening to know that we had a unit that was sitting outside and we couldn't do anything to help this man right now.
When we continue.
Call my wife. Tell her to get the help.
Bill Heasley was still lying on the floor with multiple gunshot wounds inflicted by armed robbers. The 911 dispatcher was his only link to help, as paramedics were forced to wait just outside the store until the police could arrive and secure the scene.
Okay, Bill, just take it easy. Keep your breathing down a little bit.
Also, call my wife. Tell her to get the help.
You in here? Yeah. It looked like there had been a war inside that one small area, about 20 square feet. It didn't take but a few seconds for me to check a store and make sure nobody was there lurking in the shadow, which would endanger Bill or me. And then my attention's drawn to Bill. And that's when the shock really hit, when I saw his condition. My first thought was, call the homicide team. Even though he was still breathing and everything else, that was one of the first things I did after the paramedics had came into the room. Let's go.
He was pale as a ghost. He felt like an old rag. I mean, he was just very, very cold and clammy. I started doing his vital signs. They were poor for him. His pressure was low, his pulse was up, his respirations were up.
Keep talking to me, Bill.
We finished checking for all the bullet wounds, so we knew what kind of time we were working against, what was bleeding. We got him in the mask pants and we lifted him out of there, just to get him out of there. We didn't even spend time to pump him up inside the scene. We just pulled him out to where we had room to work on him. Got him loaded and we got him in the unit.
They headed to Valley Medical Center, where the trauma team was notified to prepare for Bill's arrival.
Stat trauma.
Valley Medical Center, this is A1057. We have an ETA 10 to 12 minutes with a 39-year-old male victim of multiple gunshots. The last count we had was close to 7 to 9, I believe.
Can I have the arm?
He just knew he was going to die. He knew he wasn't going to make it. Just tell my wife I love her. Please, you've got to tell my wife I love her. And I said, okay, Bill, I promise. What's the number? So he gave me the number, and I repeated the number. He says, yes. I said, Bill, I'll tell her. I promise. He says, okay. And I think a little bit of calmness came over him.
The ambulance arrived at the emergency room within 10 minutes. On duty that night was Dr. Gene Carlson.
Anyone with that many holes in him is in dire straits. In Bill's case, we know that when the paramedics got to him, he already was in significant shock, that he had lost a fair amount of blood, probably a quarter of his blood supply. So we know from that by the time he gets to us, he may have lost a lot more than that.
Apparent entrance wound here in the right upper quadrant.
Let's roll him over this way. There were multiple wounds on the legs and one major wound in the upper abdomen that we were most concerned about. We knew from the location of that wound that some large vascular structures like the liver, kidney, and possibly other things could well have been hit.
Bill Heasley was hit by at least 7 bullets. As he was rushed into surgery, paramedic Laurie Stevens went to keep her promise.
That phone call was awful. I go, Bill wants me to tell you that he loves you. And tell the kids that he loves them too.
I've relived many, many times in my mind what it may have been like for him. To me, when he said in the tape that he loved me, means more to me than anything he's ever given to me.
Doctors worked on Bill for 3 hours to try to save his life. With 5 bullets still inside him, Bill has survived.
I'm not a person that's been afraid to die. What concerned me more than anything was, of course, that I would not be with my wife or my children. And that's really the only thing that I was thinking about at the end, that I would miss them if I did die.
He's my world. I love Bill very much. He's made my life very happy. It scares me to think that I may not have married him. I came close to not marrying him.
I think what kept him alive was his will to live. I really love my dad a whole lot. I'm really glad he's around.
The suspects involved in the shooting incident were arrested within a week and were subsequently convicted and sent to prison. Next.
She said she had a real bad headache and that she was sleepy, and this was unusual because she always feels pretty good.
Mama, wake up. Mama, please wake up, please.
When Ricky Folks went to work on the night of July 9th, 1990, he had no reason to be worried about leaving his wife and children alone in their home in Sherman, Texas.
It's time to go. We ate, and I gave my wife a kiss goodnight.
Ricky Folks left for work around 6:30 p.m., leaving 4-year-old Kurt and his younger sister Kristen in the care of their mother, Paulie.
She always goes in and cleans the kitchen after I leave. The kids were making a lot of noise, so my wife had them go in their bedroom and close the door, and they could play as loud as they wanted to then. I called her about 8:30 and asked her what was going on and stuff. I always call her at night, see how things are going. She said she had a real bad headache and that she was sleepy, and this was unusual because she always feels pretty good.
Around 9 p.m., Kurt came out of his room.
Mama, wake up. Mama, wake up. I want Tippin' to wake up. I'll try to wake her up. She won't wake up. Mama, I want Tippin' to wake. Please wake up, please. Mama.
2 miles away, Wanda Knight got Kurt's call.
Hello? I didn't recognize the voice at first. He kept saying his name, but he said it real fast. When he kept talking about his mom, he couldn't wake up his mom. I thought maybe he thought he was calling someone else, you know. And so I thought, well, maybe I should listen to what he had to say for a second.
What'd you say your name was?
C-U-R-T.
Oh, Kurt. My number was pre-programmed on Polly's phone. She had told me that she had pointed out to Kurt the day before what to do in case of an emergency, and she told him that if he needed somebody to call us. And so I said, well, do you want me to come over and check on her? And he said, yeah. So I said, okay, I'll be there as soon as I can. I thought maybe she was sick or something, or just asleep, and he probably wasn't shaking her hard enough. I thought maybe he's exaggerating or something like that. I really expected Polly to answer the door when I got there.
Wanda arrived at the Fulks' house within a few minutes.
Polly? Polly?
I'm not supposed to open the door for people who I don't know.
Kurt, you called me now, remember? Come on, Kurt, open the door. It's me, one. Kurt? It's okay now, I'm here.
When I went in and saw her laying on the couch, then I began to get concerned.
Polly? Polly, wake up.
Kurt was kind of teary-eyed. It was startling to him that his mom wouldn't wake up.
Polly?
When I picked up her hand and it was so limp, I thought that was real strange. I realized that maybe I need some help here.
Emergency?
Hello, this is Wanda Knight. I have an emergency here.
What's happening?
I don't know. A little friend of mine called and said he couldn't wake his mommy up, and she's laying here on the couch and she won't wake up.
All right, we'll get an ambulance en route immediately.
All right, thank you.
Polly? Polly, wake up. Come on, Polly, wake up.
Paramedics from a nearby fire station were immediately dispatched, along with an ambulance from 5 miles farther away.
I went over and picked up the baby and took Kurt by the hand, took him to the open door, and I said, you know, Mommy's going to be okay. Let's go and watch the ambulance come in. They were there within just minutes. I mean, it was less than 5 minutes, I know.
When firefighter Richard Anderson and paramedic Travis Pickle arrived, they had no idea what the problem was.
The first thing that hit us was an odor of gas.
The gas was so thick, at any time it could reach a pilot light, a power surge, telephone ringing. One spark could cause the whole place to blow up.
I was just so anxious about waking her up, and I was rushing to and fro. That's the reason I didn't smell the gas right off. I really didn't even think about it.
And as I entered into the kitchen, I could hear a sound. It was like a hiss of steam escaping or air leaking from a tire, just a sss type sound.
I found it at the stove. I got it.
I turned off the stove and began immediately to open the windows and the doors to get the oxygen into the house.
We went back outside and waited on the lawn.
Polly, wake up.
As long as you have a gas environment, what you're going to be breathing will be the gas, and it's just going to slowly cause you to suffocate. She was probably just, I would say, minutes away from death.
Okay, she's coming around a little. Take some good deep breaths for me, okay?
During the situation, the mother was so groggy that she didn't really understand what was going on. As we got her outside, she started to come around even more.
She kept asking where her kids were, and I kept trying to reassure her that I had her kids and they were okay. I guess she didn't hear me because she kept asking where her kids were.
Polly and her children were taken to the hospital, where they were examined by Dr. Jerry Gray.
Apparently, Kurt wasn't experiencing the same effects she was, maybe because he was in a different room with a lower concentration of gas or just being lower to the floor. Had he not intervened and gotten help to his mother when he did, my estimate, another 20 minutes would have been fatal.
Now, therefore,
2 weeks later, 4-year-old Kurt Fulks received an award for heroism from the city of Sherman, Texas.
for his courage and conscientiousness in saving the life of his mother.
We were all impressed with Kurt. He was proud of what he'd done, and he was not only proud, he said, if you'd been there, I saved you too.
Give me 5, John. And we're proud of you, the young man.
Paulie Fulks is grateful that her son knew what to do in an emergency.
If it hadn't been for what he did, there would not be Kurt, there would not be Kristen, and there would not be me.
Mama and Daddy told me I can call Wanda if something's wrong.
I was hoping he would pick up the phone and call if something was wrong, but you know, that's something you never can tell until it happens.
Probably what happened was when she was cleaning the stove, apparently she sprayed out the pilot light, and my little girl went in and turned on the stove and started gas going throughout the house. We think this because a week earlier she turned one of the burners on.
We've taken the knobs off the stove, and when they get older, we'll put the knobs back on. But for right now, they're off. They're in the drawer.
Step out of the car, please.